Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened, but yeah, YouTube ended the stream. We lagged out for like a minute and they ended it super quick. So we're going to have two parts to this stream, unfortunately. But that's fine. Welcome back into our 2024 NBA trade deadline stream brought to you by BetUS. Shout out to those of you who made it back. Now you can react to the new Shams Killian Hayes tweet. That's not new, Trevin. Bad Trevin. All right. So it's 10:54. We got 1 hour and 6 minutes until the NBA trade deadline. Yeah, I tried opening up my laptop and like getting the stream key and like starting the stream on my laptop so it wouldn't die, but didn't make it in time, unfortunately. Alrighty.
Factory reset. Would you rather trade Brogdon and sign Killian or keep Brogdon? What do you mean, AJ?
Some of our regulars, man, lately, and a couple of them have started to make less and less sense. I'm getting a little worried. I think this team is driving them a little bit delirious.
Well, he's a Melo and a Kevin Knox fan, so...
Yeah, that's true. Now he's a Utah Jazz fan, I guess.
Over under 6.5 more trades. I'll probably say under, but...
New Airwick.
Who will make a trade next? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, you're a Blazers fan. I am too. Where's Killian going? I'm not sure. I think a team will probably pick him up, but he's been real rough. I don't think he plays for a contender. He's a Spur. I could see the Spurs picking him up. Shams updated Suns trade. Thank you, AJ. We'll see when TweetDeck, aka Twitter Pro, that I had to pay for this month to get TweetDeck, Eric. Paid $16.
It's not 8 anymore.
It's what?
It's not $8 anymore.
I guess not. It said $16 for the month. So, yeah, brutal. Brutal. I had to give Elon money for this. Memphis is getting Utah Watanabe from the Suns as part of the three-team trade. Suns setting out three other minimum salaries: KBD, Jordan Goodwin, and Chimezie Metu. So Gambo was right. That's 1 point for Gambo, 0 points for Flex. Shout out to Gambo. And shout out to me finally being able to finish this graphic.
When I went to the bathroom and I muted my mic,
Yeah.
but I could hear. All I heard was, "Oh my God!"
What?
You said something like you yelled something, and I was
What did I
like, "Oh!"
yell? I didn't yell anything.
When the stream lagged out, you like yelled something,
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't know the stream fully lagged out, so I thought we traded someone, and you hated it, and I was like, "Oh no, what the heck happened?"
No, yeah.
So I was
No.
happy that it was just your stream lagging out.
Yeah, but
No,
that sucks in the middle of a big
no,
stream, man.
no,
I haven't
it
had any
does.
lag problems lately either. It's strange.
It definitely sucks that it lagged out completely, but it's better than the Blazers making a horrible trade right now.
True.
I'm still going to be kind of surprised if the Blazers don't at least shed some salary.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe they want that excuse for the offseason, you know?
Yeah. We had to give away the third pick because we couldn't afford to sign him.
Oh, man. That's so funny. New Shams tweet isn't anything happening. He's just updating the DeJounte Murray situation. Chat, if any of you listen to that, give us a summary. We'd greatly appreciate it. Shout out to you guys.
Would you rather be ranting about a bad trade or not doing anything?
I'd kind of rather be ranting about a bad trade.
Yeah.
Because at least the people that, you know, maybe have checked out for the season would come back for a stream. Because unfortunately, there is a lot of people that have just completely checked out from the Blazers this season. I can't blame them at all. I miss them dearly. So shout out to everyone who's been rocking with us this season. This rough season. Okay, this is Phoenix.
Chris asked, did the Blazers free up? Didn't the Blazers free up 2 roster spots for something? I mean, they don't have to fill both of them. They only have to fill one of them. And it could be as simple as just signing Reith to the roster.
Yeah, but I don't really know why they kept Moses Brown and why they cut Mays if they're not gonna. It's just strange.
They probably didn't have any plans to trade Brogdon all along.
Yeah. Or they realized they wanted to keep him. I don't know. But let me get this graphic in here.
Are you guys happy for Dame or mad at him? Neither. I'm mad at the Blazers.
Yeah. Kind of confused by that question.
Nick Thompson says Michael Porter Jr. is who I want. Oh, God. Can you imagine, Tori?
Yeah. This Nick Thompson dude is just trolling with targets in chat. He's been doing it
Yeah.
all stream.
What if the Blazers traded for Michael Porter Jr.?
Oh, God. Then I can't call him Michael Porter Trash Can anymore.
And then they like, I don't know. say he's like their future.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get another player with injury issues in the past and see if it works out this time. At least he can shoot. At least he can shoot. Why does Torrey hate Michael Porter Jr. so much? Because he's an asshole. Did you hear his WNBA comments and other comments in the past? I don't like him. Part of it is a meme, but I just don't like him.
I mean, you didn't like him before that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just never liked him. And I meme him for it. Christopher says Korkmaz. What, we finally got Korkmaz? That was my prediction. Because I went back, I predicted the Norm, Gary Trent Jr., Rodney Hood trade. I predicted the Kevin Knox thing. If the Korkmaz thing is correct, because I was just throwing that out as some BS, then that's how you know that I got a crystal ball. I don't got sources, I just got a crystal ball. We don't want Miles Bridges, Abraham. No.
Lockcutter says, hold on a minute. Why haven't the Bulls done anything? Because apparently they're fine with their team and want to run it back.
God, I'd be pissed off to be a Bulls fan. Their MO is doing nothing. The only time they ever did something was when they traded for Vucevic, which is an awful trade in retrospect.
Yeah.
Because the Magic got Franz Wagner, with the pick they got from the Bulls in that trade.
Wendell Carter Jr. and the pick that was Jet Howard as well.
Yeah. Major L for Chicago. The only time they've tried to do anything in like the last decade. I'm over-exaggerating, but yeah.
Well, at least they've picked their direction of mediocrity.
Yeah, why are we acting like teams have to pick a rebuild or contention direction, Eric? There's a third direction, and that is mediocrity. We should no longer call the Blazers or the Bulls directionless. They've chose.
Apparently, that's the Blazers' direction, yep.
Yep. It's been their direction for years. Let's not lie to ourselves, you know? It's been their thing. They're number one in attendance, so they get money. The Bulls, yeah, they got a big stadium. I think they have the biggest capacity out of any stadium in the league. Where do you guys think the Warriors will finish in the Western Conference comes to the end of the season? Seed-wise,
hopefully
11th,
or
12th? Yeah. Because we get their picks, so hopefully they're not in the playoffs.
Shams is saying that Atlanta wants Herb Jones in any potential DeJounte Murray trade. I think that's legit. But if the Pelicans get DeJounte, they're really not going to be able to afford Herb then. So I think he would almost have to be part of the trade.
Yeah,
right?
and that would make sense for Atlanta to get better defensively.
Herb next to Trey would be good, I think.
Yeah, and maybe you have some extra... Dude, if they had Herb and Jalen Johnson as their starting 3-4, man, I am slightly jealous because I really like both those players. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, let's see if I can have this timer now.
David Bauer asked, does the NBA have some kind of protocol for releasing trade transaction details publicly? Where do you get your info? Well, we get them from Shams and Woj, mostly, who usually have most of the details. But after they're official, they'll list all transactions on their NBA.com website. Bucks are still supposedly going heavy after Wiggins. Alex Wolf needs a Cavs move ready to go.
That's the timer.
Oh,
Don't worry. I'm doing things.
You're figuring it out?
Yeah, I just forgot what
You're going to
the app
become
was called.
unwashed?
Yeah, I relearned my skills. No, why does that say 14 minutes? I did 50. Oh, maybe I'm still washed.
Tori's trying to unwash himself live. Pistons have waived Daniel House. Everybody's just going to pick him up.
Eh. Save settings. Settings saved. Okay. And I start the timer in 10 seconds, and it will be perfect.
Yeah, Farrell roly-poly. Deadline is noon Pacific, so a little over 50 minutes away.
Exactly 50 minutes.
No.
Cool. That's like a second off, but it's good enough. I did something.
Good job, Tori.
Thank you. It was like right in front of my face, but it was something. It was named Stream Timer. I was looking for Countdown Timer. At least I did something this trade deadline. Jabari for 2 firsts? Jabari Walker for 2 firsts? Jabari Smith for 2... What? Bruce Brown going to have to get traded at some point. Yeah, we'll see if he gets moved. There's still a lot of things that could happen. Cronin's still trying to fix his countdown timer. Yeah. Does he know when the trade deadline is?
Yes, we would take Jabari Walker for 2 firsts. Don't be crazy.
Bro, look who it is, Eric. Look who it is, man. I missed this guy.
Near 0-12.
Near 0-12. When I was watching back some of the trade deadline streams, I saw near 0-12. I was like, man, what happened to him? So near 0-12, member for 41 months. Still a channel member, over 3 years, going strong. One of the OGs. Shout out to Near Zero. Says, yo guys, long time no see. Thanks for all the great content during this trying season. Let's go Blazers. It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being a channel member. Appreciate you.
Where have you been, though?
Yeah. Also, why'd you leave us? I'm just kidding. Trying season for sure. I understand checking out from it, but it's always good to see one of the OGs. Washington received the hire of OKC/LAC 24 first from Dallas for Gafford. Did Dallas have a first round pick this year? Like, I'm still confused as to where that comes from. You know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of DeAndre Hunter? Good player, but awful injury luck. Like, very injury prone. Makes him not worth his contract. Christopher says Magic Johnson said Presti struck gold with Hayward because of his vet presence. What? They're already really good. I don't think they need playoff presence, I guess, but what has Gordon Hayward ever done in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know, man. That sounds like a Magic Johnson take. That's just the easy thing to say. Any young team that has an older player, great veteran presence, no matter what.
What? Aramancer, why are you saying they got it from OKC? Obviously, they got it from OKC, but what? How did they get it from OKC? They wouldn't. Yeah. OKC wouldn't just give them a first-round pick.
Alvaro Bazan says, will we do anything? Woke up late and was worried I missed something. I guess not. Womp. Nope. You haven't missed anything. What's up, Alvaro? Good to see you.
Why would you be worried about that?
Yeah. You should have been hoping. Cronin working on Blockbuster for Mikal Bridges as we speak. Yeah, what if we just like what if we just trade for Mikal Bridges? Like that would be such a curveball, man. I actually thought about that a couple days ago. Like we finally get a guy like that now. It's like the Milwaukee picks plus Brogdon or something. I don't know. What if we traded Brogdon and picks for Mikal? How much would you hate that?
If we trade picks and Brogdon for Mikal, I guess it depends on how many picks. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would necessarily hate it, but
What's up, Smog member for 37 months? Says, like the stream if you woke up before Cronin. Yeah, we only got 50 likes in here. Almost 400 viewers. Like the stream. Let's get it to 100. Maybe if we get it to 100, Joe Cronin will sense it and he'll wake up and he'll do something. He'll maybe hop on a phone call. Maybe go get a coffee. Maybe go get Amir coffee. Seems like a Cronin type of guy right there, right? Alright, I'm updating this Pat Bev graphic.
can we salary dump Moses Brown?
Why would we need to?
I don't know.
I'd take cash considerations right now. Yeah, I'm sure Jody told Joe, yeah, just work the phone, see if you can find some cash considerations out there for me. Technically, from the first stream and this stream, we're still over 100. Yeah, when I looked at the number, I was like, that seems low. I thought we were hiring that. And then I was like, oh, yeah, our first stream died, unfortunately.
If you liked the first stream, like the second one. If you didn't like the first stream, like the second one.
Yeah. Cam Johnson to Portland would be cool. I mean, Portland trading a second-round pick for a second-round pick would be cool at this point. Yeah, that's our trade. We trade one of our seconds this year because we have too many picks this year. We can't have too many picks this year. We trade one of our seconds this year for a future second. Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny. Patrick Beverly.
Snacking says, does BetUS do bets for what Joe Cronin says? That'd be awesome.
I wish they did. I would win a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to BetUS offering you 125% deposit matches with the code JOIN125 and our link to sign up in the description box below. If we traded a half-eaten bag of Doritos for a 3/4 full Dasani, I'll be content. Yeah, the bar is through the earth. The bar's on the other side of the earth now. That's how far in the ground it is.
Apparently, the Nets turned down 5 firsts for Bridges, so you can say Brogdon in like 3 firsts is a good trade, but that's not.
They should have taken the 5 firsts, man. It never made sense to keep them. I was trying to explain that to Nets fans for the longest time. Now they're directionless. Oh, sorry, they have a direction. It's mediocrity. I forgot that can be a direction too. My bad.
Yep.
You guys should debate He Who Must Not Be Named. That would be freaking fire. Yeah, like a presidential debate. Like on stage and everything.
I'd rather not, thanks.
Well, you can moderate it. You can be the definitely not biased moderator.
That guy's not stepping into a room with us for a debate.
Oh, that'd be fascinating. You guys just don't know. Anyway. It's been a lot of the same teams making multiple trades. Steven, the moderator? Honestly, Steven might be as biased as a moderator as Eric. I'm Steven's guy. You don't know that? Steven's the one media guy I got on my side, so. Super bad. We're talking about Voldemort.
The 5 first was literally a few days ago that the rumor was they're turning it down.
Give free membership for 200 likes. Is there a way I can give a free membership now? Yeah, I'll give a free membership if we reach 200 likes. Sure. 200 likes, free membership. We're at 106. Let's see if we can get there. We gotta get there before the timer runs out. So hit that like button if you want a free membership. We got 420 people in here. It's a pretty cool number. Subscribe. Let's hit 9,900, Eric. 9,900 would be a cool number to hit. Let's just pretend that's a milestone. That's a big round number, you know?
Yeah, I know the Pelicans were one of the teams that offered 5 firsts. I forgot who the other one was. Memphis, maybe?
Yeah. Voldemort would be a better GM. Yeah, he'd be a pretty magical GM, man. For sure. Multiple contenders expected to pursue house and free agency. The dog just entered the house in Eric's household.
Or just got up off the couch.
Oh. Patrick Morehouse would love a membership. When we gift memberships, it randomly gives them away. So, good luck. I would love for you to get a membership, Patrick. We got Jared Store in here, Eric. That's a name I haven't really seen much in a while. We got some people coming out of the woodworks. Yeah, I don't control who the membership's gifted to. And it's funny because as I said that, the likes went down from 131 to 130 because somebody realized their odds weren't great. Rough. What if the Lakers trade for Brogdon? I mean, what if the Blazers trade Brogdon in general? I mean, didn't the last one go to you, Tori? I don't think so. I don't remember. I know I gifted some memberships and I became a member on the Blazers Uprise channel when Eric was running the stream when I was in Sun River. How do I buy one? Not technically savvy. Click the join button below the stream. There should be a join button. And you'll get a monthly member message. Your name will be in green. So your chats will stand out more. Dang, I missed the giveaway? No, we got to get 200 likes. We're at 135. Like the stream if you want the Blazers to do something. I'll call up Cronin once we hit 200 likes and let him know. But it's up to you guys. Cronen's not in control. Cronin can't control these things. It's up to you guys to like the stream if you want Cronin to do something. Shout out to Giannis Bondar, $2 donation, says Bev being on the Bucks is going to make Dame stronger. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he's with Dame. You know, he's played with a lot of his rivals. He played with Westbrook. I don't think he ever played with Chris Paul, was kind of his other rival, but now he's playing with Dame. That's going to be interesting. JP Savvy says, I can't call Joe because his phone is shut off. Good point. Can the 200 lurkers like the stream? Yeah, shout out to the 200 people watching on a TV or something. LOL, how's it going? We are chilling here, 35 minutes, waiting for anything to happen. It's very quiet right now. Very, very quiet. I love trade deadline day, Eric, because you can just slowly watch your dreams slip away with the countdown of a timer. It's quite beautiful, actually. Cronin hasn't paid the cricket bill. Well, he should have got Mint Mobile. I'm just like dreaming of seeing a tweet that has the word Blazers in it. When will the next time Woj or Shams tweet out Blazers and it not be regarding an injury?
When we signed Uprise to a contract extension?
yeah, literally.
Or Malcolm Brogdon to a contract extension?
Oh God, don't even speak that into existence.
3 years, $90 million.
Alvaro says, have we ever had a good trade deadline? Best one was trading for Rocco, but that's not saying much. Rocco was an off-season trade.
Yep.
I mean, the Norm trade was decent. The 2019 deadline / buyout period would have been pretty fun because you got Rodney Hood and then Cantor.
Oh, yeah. That's... Trevin's got it right. When Milwaukee trades our second-round pick.
Yeah.
One of the two will mention that a 2024 Blazers second-round pick has been traded, and that's how it'll be.
Yep.
Good one, Trevin.
Yeah, Patrick, I advise you to prioritize your kid over becoming a Blazers Uprise member. As much as it pains me to say it. Medina, welcome to Starter Membership. Thank you for joining the Uprising. Chase McGraw in chat said, listening while I pick up my daughter, like the damn stream. Drive safe, Chase. Thank you. Chase, I don't know if you know, but like, I think it was last Monday, you sent me a 41-second voice recording, I think on accident. I just heard your daughter like making baby noises. I don't know if you knew that, but I was on stream. I was on our Pigs Against the Spread stream, and I was confused, and I played it. I think it was on accident. I don't know if you noticed, but listening while going to the dispensary. That's a, you know, I can't advocate for that, but might not be a bad move given this trade deadline. Alex is watching from his basement cellar. Is that, he has a basement cellar, Eric? That's your guy. Is that where he sends everything out from?
Well, considering he lives in Ohio, I think it's much more common over there for
that whole place is a basement cellar.
Big basements, so yeah, guessing most of the houses there have basements.
Just kidding. I don't hate Ohio. I hate Michigan. I hate Michigan, not Ohio. I forgot. Actually, I don't hate Michigan because we beat Michigan. We didn't lose to the Lions. My Huskies just lost to Michigan. Ugh.
In 31 minutes, are you gonna actually like kind of be mad, or are you over it?
I've already been mad for 2 weeks, you know? I'm kind of just the point
Yeah.
where, like, okay, well, that's what we expected. I don't know. I don't know. If anything, I'm getting a little sleepy because of good old Sleepy Joe. Cronin, that is. I need more of this energy drink, I think.
Yes, it is, Kenji. 30 minutes and 20 seconds ish. Kyle Wilson says, I'm going to hit you guys with the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. No, I'm mad, dude.
Yeah. Shout out to Ty, the Millennial, $5 donation, their first super chat. Says, here's to hoping the 49ers win. My guy Ty, says, I want you two to know what it feels like to have your team win it all. Let's get you two to San Francisco for the parade. Man, I just want that feeling, man. I just want to get that monkey off my back. Never seen any of my teams win a championship. If I had both my teams lose a championship game in the course of like a month, that would be brutal. So, Niners, let's get this ring. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate you. Once I get this curse off my back, then the Blazers will start doing good things. I'm just going to take the blame. Not be mad at me, Eric. Not Joe. Be mad at me. You can yell at me in 30 minutes.
Thank you to TC Sports Legends for becoming a starter member. Thank you.
Thank you, TC Sports Legends. Appreciate you. Antonio wants the Blazers to suck forever. You guys need the Niners to win. You guys need my curse to be broken. I'm 0-5 in championship games. This is my 14th team to make a Final Four. None of them have ever won a championship. So, yeah. Hopefully this is some good luck for a Brogdon trade. Yeah, fingers crossed. 162 likes. We're gifting a membership at 200 likes. I would gift 5, but I had to pay $16 to Elon to get the tweets on the left.
Malachi says, what could possibly be Cronin's reasoning for not trading Brogdon? I don't understand. You want to tackle that?
Reread it again?
What could possibly be Cronin's reason for not trading Brogdon? He's a good mentor in the locker.
He's a good mentor. Wanted him around the rest of the season. They could get better deals in the offseason. That's probably going to be the narrative.
No one was giving up anything good for him.
Yeah. No, and then it will be, we didn't want a first-round pick in this year's draft. Teams didn't want to trade future first, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
We all agree, Malachi. Yeah. And just even if you don't get much for Brogdon, just the fact that he's going to be playing.
It's sad that, part of me is like, well, at least Sharp is hurt. You should never build the team in a way where people can kind of think like, well, at least one of our prized young guards is not playing. What are we doing?
But once again, who cares? Why are we trying to win this year when we've won 30% of our games? We're 15-35. 30%.
Farrell Roly-Poly says, Reddit said we shouldn't trade him for less than 2 firsts. I hate that website. Yeah, I mean, anyone that thinks that we shouldn't trade him for less than 2 firsts is being silly. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with a lot of people on the internet is they only think of things in a vacuum in terms of building the roster. It's never like, okay, we should do this so then we can potentially do this, or we can put ourselves in a position so we can have 4 different options as to how to move forward and maximize the rebuild, right? It's just like, I like Brogdon. Brogdon wants to be here. We should only trade him if we get 2 firsts. And if we don't get 2 firsts, we should keep him. What happens after that? I don't know. How do we handle the guard situation next year? I don't know. We should keep him. And then next year, they'll be complaining. These 3 guard lineups don't work. I thought we learned that with Norman Powell. These 3 guard lineups don't work. Because we have to play sharp at the 3 because we have Brogdon. So, looking forward to that. Shout out Brandon Romero with the $5 dono. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you, man. Says, can't wait to hear Joe's explanation, LMAO. Quote, these veterans are critical. We are building something special with this team, a.k.a. 14 and 35 LMAO, I can tell. Yeah. Yeah, we have an 11-game stretch. We go 5 and 6. And we're ready. We're ready to win it all. Wait, no, that's not the goal. We're ready to be the Houston Rockets. Yeah. I think we're ready for the 11th seed, Eric. I think we're built for it. Shout out to Joe. You're not laughing.
I predicted the Blazers 11 seed, so yeah, that's...
Oh, man.
Why are you guys 49er fans? Because that's the team we root for? I don't know.
My dad was a Niner fan, so I learned football watching the Niners, basically.
I grew up in the 80s. My favorite players were Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, so yeah.
The play-in will be ours to conquer. Yeah.
No, we're not even going to get the play-in. We could...
Next year, Eric. We're building towards next year.
Next year.
Making the play-in next year.
The goal is to play in 2025. That's all that matters.
And hopefully we can get the 9th seed so that we get a home game.
Yeah.
So we can sell those tickets, baby.
We can make $4 million to justify paying Malcolm Brogdon $22.5 million.
Yep, that sounds like good math to me. Oh man. See, I'm not even mad. Like I'm just gonna meme. I'm just gonna meme this team. Like, so all we can do to enjoy it, right? So
what if like 3 other teams decide they want to be Houston too, and then we're all competing for like 3 play-in spots with 4 other teams, and not all of us can do it?
Yeah.
I don't even have faith that Cronin could pull that off. If that was his goal, like he didn't care about the future and he just put all his eggs into making the play-in basket, I don't even know if he can accomplish that.
I just want him to have a plan that's not let's go for the play-in.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not a high bar at all. That's literally like get to contention. Either if you can find a way to contention where we contend next year, great. But I don't see any viable path. Okay, so let's rebuild so that we can actually have a path to contention. Not let's just see if we can get the 10th seed or the 9th seed and then maybe play our way into the 8th seed and then get wiped in the first round just like we did in the bubble. Literally, like the bubble, we got the 8th seed. We made the playoff, guys, right? We win the first game. We're so excited. We lose the second game in a way where it was like, yeah, we're definitely losing the series. We lose the 3rd game, we lose the 4th game, we lose the 5th game. And it was just like, the rest of the playoffs weren't even fun. We win one game, get excited about one game, and it was fugazi. And what'd you say?
Dame got hurt in that series too.
Yeah. But, so, you know what I mean? But people say, oh, it's, you make the play next year, and then couple years after, then you contend, right? But I think we need more assets. I think we need more upside. Did anyone see what the ESPN Power Rankings said about Portland this week? No, I did not. David, if you want to quote it, I'll read it off. We got 23 minutes till the trade deadline. Man, this stream has gone by quickly. Which is kind of surprising because nothing's happening.
1 minutes?
21 minutes, yeah. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the... Yeah, 21 minutes. So, Dame has a quote. This is what we get to talk about right now. He said, "First, I want to say I'm sad to see Campaign go. We developed a friendship that I cherish. As for Pat, he brings...
friends with everyone.
Yeah. As for Pat, he brings an edge and a defensive tenacity on the perimeter that we need. There are not many players who bring it on a nightly like him. I look forward to working together. Our past personal issues don't trump an opportunity to win a championship." That's kind of funny. Our past personal issues. Let me minimize this feed.
Hello, Bruce. He wants a hello.
Hi, Bruce. How are you doing?
The funniest thing to me, Tori, I should probably save this for 20 minutes, but this idea that the Blazers can't be bad because their people wouldn't watch them or come to games. And so Malcolm Brogdon hears that. Like, every single person I've talked to says they would rather watch a game with Scoot and Sharp and those guys. I know Sharp's not available this year, but everyone says they'd rather see Scoot play as much as possible the rest of the way. They're more interested in that.
Yeah.
Is that me or you?
It's me.
Oh, it's you. Okay.
Just as long as the stream doesn't end, we're fine.
So yeah,
Are we good now?
I think so.
Fingers crossed. If the stream dies, we'll have another stream, but fingers crossed. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Eric Olson says he only bought his tickets to see Brogdon dribble the cover off the ball in person. So, and yeah, it's the same thing like last game where they played freaking Justin Minaya over Ryan Rupert. Like no one is coming to a game to see Justin Minaya and Malcolm Brogdon over Rupert and Scoot. Like we want to see Scoot. Like
yeah,
you can maybe justify it for like the one game against the Bucks or whatever, but it's not been just one game. So let's actually. It just doesn't make sense because if that's their excuse or whatever, which it's already been shot out there by Blazer media people, like at least give the fans what they want. And if you're building towards something, I don't think the fans will like hold that against them. But it's just this weird mix of crappiness and trying to keep together a team like it's good that's won 15 out of 50 games.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. I am more invested in watching the game. It is easier to watch games when Scoot Henderson is in the game.
Yeah.
Start him, play him 35 minutes. Develop him. If he's starting to break out, if he starts playing consistently well and looking like the prospect we drafted after the All-Star break and he's starting playing 35 minutes a game, you will sell more tickets than if you keep starting Malcolm Brogdon ahead of him. So, it doesn't really equate to me. And people say Scoot's not ready. I think Scoot's ready to play 35 minutes a game. He's still going to struggle, just like any young player. But he's good enough right now that I think he'll have enough good stretches where it's not going to completely shake his confidence.
Yep. And I think if you're talking about it for next year, I think his growth and learning curve getting sped up for this year will only help next year. Yeah.
You don't have to only have success to grow. Actually, most guys, you know, the right players with the right mindset will learn more from their failures than their successes. Mm-hmm. Giving Scoot reps, even if he fails, isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. He can grow from that. So, if he's playing as bad as he did earlier in the season, then you have to worry about his confidence falling off and him overthinking things getting in his head, right? Because he was really struggling just because he was new to the NBA level 19-year-old point guard, right? So I understand kind of dialing things back then, but he's starting to figure it out, that's when you ramp things up. That's when you play him more. When he has 15 points in the first half against the Bucks and is like amped up to play against Dame, you don't then play him 9 minutes in the second half where he only plays 22 for the game because he makes a mistake or two.
Mm-hmm.
That's silly in a rebuild. So I want Scoot. If Scoot doesn't play at least 30 minutes a game, we back?
Maybe.
Says excellent connection.
Why do you guys ignore Cooper Flag? What are you talking about?
What? Since
Cooper Flag would be the answer to all our problems.
when have we ever ignored Cooper Flag? What do you mean? Do you think he's in this year's draft? He's in next year's draft.
We have a trade, Tori.
Doug McDermott goes back to the Pacers.
We're lagging again.
And it lags the stream out. I blame Doug McDermott. Okay, we're back, I think. Internet's going to be spotty, I guess, guys, so just bear with us. I think we're fine. We can hear you still. Yeah, so Doug McDermott to the Pacers. Going to see who the Spurs get back. And we're lagging again. Oh, my God. Just spotty as hell.
Spurs got a second round pick back.
Do they have to trade out salary, Indiana?
I'm not sure. Maybe they trade out Morris or Korkmaz or something.
Yeah, they could flip Morris probably. Hawks are keeping Murray per Woj. Boring.
Morris, cash, and a second to the Spurs. Update Shams, it says.
Yeah, the Pacers trade Marcus Morris, second round pick in cash. Okay, I mean that's wow. The Pacers have done a lot. So they got Doug McDermott to replace Buddy Hield, I guess, but it's more of a forward, which makes sense because they got some guards. What else did they do other than...
They got Siakam, but they didn't pick up a defender to replace... They still need a defender to replace Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
They got Furkan Korkmaz.
Furkan freaking Korkmaz. This up here is one of the most exciting deadlines. Not for the Blazers, though, unfortunately.
Brandon Romero says at least the Lakers didn't get anything. I'm happy. Well, there's still 10 minutes left, so don't wait. I'd wait till after the deadline to say that because now they're going to make a big trade and make you mad.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left. And stuff can come in after the 10 minutes is over, too. Just as long as the call is patched through to the league before 12. Cooper Flag would be the perfect fit with Scoot and Sharp in the future. Cooper Flag would be the perfect fit with any roster and any young core. So the guy that said we're ignoring Cooper Flagg said future pick, duh, we need 2025 first rounders, not more 2024. You know how hard it's going to be to get a 2025 first rounder from a team that isn't going to be really, really good, that's unprotected? It'd have to be an unprotected pick from a bad team that's already bad. No bad team is giving up an unprotected 2025 first for anything on this Blazer roster.
Or we'd have to get super lucky with like if we traded Grant to the Mavs this offseason and then somehow the Mavs have injuries or suck next year and
yeah,
something happens and we get super lucky.
Robin Lopez to Sacramento. Strange.
Sean Hyken just tweeted a minute ago, if Portland has any active or close trade discussions right now, I haven't heard about it.
So basically he's tweeted nothing. Might as well have not tweeted the cool.
That's the Kings move, Robin Lopez. The Kings needed to do something, in my opinion.
Yeah, fully expect Portland to not do anything, just as we said. This is going to be the most boring trade deadline of all time for the Blazers.
But now if they make a trade, he can't say, oh, I've been hearing that. Because he just admitted he hadn't heard it.
Yeah. True. Although he still might. I don't know.
Tyler Jacobs says, GC people, what did you all actually expect to happen? We all
the Blazers
expected
to do more than nothing. Sorry for expecting this organization to ever do more than nothing.
I expected them to not set up their offseason for complete failure, as well as this season, as well as every one of the last few seasons. They did it again. So
he also says nobody's trading future assets for Thibault or Brogdon. A team traded a future, very lightly protected first-round pick for P.J. Washington. You're telling me he's better than Malcolm Brogdon? If he's better than Malcolm Brogdon, then the Dame trade wasn't really that good. Or at least the Drew Holiday part wasn't really that good. Especially if 2024 first-round picks suck and the Warriors pick isn't that good. It's funny because all the logic that people use to excuse Cronin's inactivity in a way can double back on itself to make the Dame trade seem not as good as they were acting like in the moment. So, he's not a combo guard which is available from any team in the league. Dude, Brogdon is better than pretty much any guard on the market. What guard that got traded is better than Malcolm Brogdon? Not all combo guards are the same. The Kings did try to trade for Grant, but the Blazers rejected him. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that the Blazers just want to keep Brogdon and Grant and their veterans. I don't know what is so hard to understand about that. Believing that's true when things have gone this way. 189 likes. Yeah, we gotta get to 200 before this timer strikes 0 for a gifted membership to chat. And then honestly, we'll probably wrap up this stream a little earlier than other deadline streams, Eric. We'll have a post-game show later tonight that we can talk about stuff after the Blazers take on the Pistons. Mm-hmm. It'd be, you know what would make this day funny is if we lost at home to the Pistons after they trade Bogdanovich and Burks.
They might have to forfeit the game. How are they going to come up with 8 players?
Ivy, Cunningham, Asar. We got Hyperprime gifting a membership.
Cunningham's
we just passed. I don't know. We just passed 200 likes, so I'll gift a membership. But we got Hyperprime gifting a membership. It's Blazer fan Ebby.
Nice.
One of the regulars. Shout out to Hyperprime. Good to see you, Hyperprime. Always love having you in chat. And we got Blazer fan Ebby with the gifted membership. I'm going to give out a gifted membership. This is what we get for entertainment today.
Shams update. Spurs are likely to buy out Marcus Morris.
Yeah, yawn. Dinwiddie waived as well. Buyout market has some players, man. Yeah. Although I'm not a Dinwiddie fan. All right. Membership gifting, 1 membership. Sending it through. What SW waived? Who is SW? Taylor Packer gets the... I thought Taylor Packer was a member. What happened to Taylor Packer's membership? Of all people to get my gifted membership out of 400 people in here, it's Taylor Packer.
An 8 in support.
Oh, man. We lagging?
Woj tweet.
Jaden Springer to the second Celtics for a second.
Wow, Celtics. Another trade between Eastern Conference contenders. What the heck is going on?
Why did the Sixers just dump Springer for a second?
Maybe it's money reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Like, the Celtics just get Tillman for a second and Springer for a second. Oh, I want to be one of the good front offices, Eric. Mm-hmm. It'd be so much fun. Like, oh, we got this guy for a second? Sick, let's go. Instead of people trying to tell us that we're going to turn Cam Reddish into an all-star. Man. Not to say I wanted Jaden Springer. He's a guard. Didn't really make sense. But it's just always funny to see how the same teams can get really good value on trades over and over and over again.
And there's nothing the Blazers can do, whether they're trying to win or trying to sell or trying to be mediocre. They can't do any of those things right.
I mean, this is what we get to argue about. Dro says Portland is the worst franchise in basketball, and then we got Tyler in chat say, Pistons, LOL, come on, dude. Okay, cool, we're better than the 7 and 50 Pistons or whatever the record is. Let's go, Eric. Mm-hmm. We've made it. Maybe. We'll see you tonight, bro. If we lose to the Pistons tonight, we get the crown for being the worst franchise in the league. 2 minutes left. Trades can come through after the noon 3 Eastern time buzzer. But, yeah. Looks like we're just chilling, chat. We're just chilling. I don't know. Eric is gone. Left. Didn't want to stick around for the final buzzer. I'm just going to sit on my phone refreshing Twitter. Because I think it refreshes a little faster. But we got 15 seconds, Eric.
We're going to have a last-second deal.
The Toronto Raptors are keeping Bruce Brown.
Interesting.
The Atlanta Hawks are keeping DeJounte Murray. The Portland Trail Blazers are keeping Malcolm Brogdon. Everyone.
So the Pacers traded Shield for McDermott, Korkmaz in 2 seconds.
Yeah, not bad. And with that, the trade deadline has officially passed unless Joe Cronin is actively on a phone call right now. The Blazers have done absolutely nothing.
Nick Thompson said, bet you Cronin wanted Bruce Brown. No, because we're the team that told Bruce Brown he wasn't a winning player. Not exactly in those words. Like, he interpreted it as.
Oh, we did something!
Delano Banton.
We got Delano Banton! Good job, Joe! Chat, everyone at home, give Joe Cronin a round of applause. He made a trade.
We made a trade.
And we got Delano Banton for basically nothing. That is a win. Hey, Eric, we got another guard, but at least it's like a 6'8" guard.
Yeah, he's tall. He can't shoot, but...
Guys, we did something.
Let's go.
All praise to Joe Cronin.
Wait, what did we give? We just
a heavily protected second-round pick. Heavily protected. So probably top 55 protected second-round pick. Blazers get their guy without having to give anything up. And we get the one, the only Delano Banton.
No one said Delano Banton. Yeah. Yep, Hyken exposed himself, man.
Yeah. No, just wait for the tweet. I've been hearing / reading / writing / talking about this for days / weeks / months.
Delano Banton was on the Raptors for a couple of years. He's...
Excellent connection. Good. I was about to start it on my laptop with like a black screen with the stream key. Okay, we're back. My goodness. Massive trade broke the stream, yes. Shout out to Joe Cronin. Broke the stream. I mean, listen. For a heavily protected second-round pick, there's nothing wrong with this trade. No. It's just kind of funny that's like the only thing that happens is this trade, man. I mean, he wanted to say he did something, right? So, do we get a press conference now?
We got a guard to take more minutes away.
Like, what? I don't understand trading for Banton when you have repair. Like, God. Gross. But, I mean, Banton had some solid moments as a rookie. He's not a bad flyer. It's just kind of a pointless trade. But it's a trade, Eric.
Yeah.
He
doesn't have to play, at least.
He was trying to condition us to be happy about Delano Banton. So props to him. Okay.
It worked.
It worked. We saw Portland on a Woj tweet. We made it.
Corey Joseph got traded to the Pacers. The
Bulls are keeping Drummond. Cronin lands Kevin Knox at the buzzer. Yeah, imagine.
We did last year.
Bulls did nothing. Yeah, Bulls are brutal, man. Bulls are brutal. Also, offseason going to be bad when they salary dump. Yeah, I mean, that's basically where we go from here. How are they going to deduct the luxury tax if they use both their first-round picks and they both remain where they're at? Because they ain't paying the luxury tax for this team. Can we have the parade down Mainstream in Portland now? Yeah, I'll get in contact with Cronin and ask him if we can throw the parade during the All-Star break. 5 days ago, he had 31 G League. Yeah, I mean, Banton isn't a bad, end of the roster guy at all. It's just we need shooting. He's not a shooter. It's just kind of
Got length, though, Tori.
Got length.
Banton has It's not a lot, but $217,533 guaranteed next year.
I mean, that's basically nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, with them being into the tax, that's another contract we're going to stretch.
Offseason is going to be very interesting, man.
Stretch into 5 years. It's only 60, 70,000 per year for.
Yeah. Luckily, the offseason is going to be much more interesting than this trade deadline was. Yeah, Warriors trading Corey Joseph to the Pacers. Offseason is going to be interesting to see how they maneuver with the cap and what they do. I mean, yeah, Banton, I don't have a problem with him. If he can, he's one of those guys where if he could shoot threes, he would probably be a rotation player.
Yeah.
Because he can handle the ball and has size, and yeah, but he can't. But maybe he can. If we can fix Thibault, can we fix Delano Banton? Because if we fix Delano Banton's jumper, it's going to pay off more than fixing Thibault's jumper, maybe.
We fix Scoot, too.
Fix Scoot. Well, Brogdon. Okay, So who's going to be the vet mentor for Banton, though? Jeremy or Brogdon? Because Banton's a 6'9" guard. So who do we assign to be his mentor?
They probably saw Dante Exum's rebirth in Dallas and were like, oh, who's the next Dante Exum?
Well, normally they have done that because Dante Exum was a high pick. This is a guy that was a second-round pick, so...
Yeah.
I'm just happy I get to use the Portland graphic down below, Eric.
Time to watch some Delano Banton highlights.
Yeah, dude, I already know. People are going to start watching his highlights. His highlights are going to look good because they're highlights and he's a 6'9" guard. And then it's going to be Joe Cronin cooked. I already know. Like a bunch of people are going to be telling me how good he is that didn't know who he was like 30 minutes ago. I'm ready. Blazers get Delano Banton.
Are people still going to be asking for Cronin's autograph after this trade?
Yeah, that dude's a rock star. What do you mean? Only a guy like Joe Cronin could trade for Delano Banton and make it look good. So, respect him.
So we had that Tyler Jacob guy in here talking crap. I just want to lay this all out real quick now that the deadline's over. And this is why I have no faith in anything. Because 2 trade deadlines ago, we were sold on all this flexibility. We were going to sign and trade for DeAndre Ayton. We were going to do all this stuff with this cap space. And all we did was re-sign Nurk and Anthony with the cap space. And then last deadline, or a year ago, we heard this, well, we got out of Gary Payton's money. You're going to have to trust us. Even though we traded Josh Hart away and didn't get much back, Joe Cronin's exact words are that he's super dedicated to winning and that you're going to have to trust us. Just like O'Shea, right? You're going to have to trust us. He kept saying that. We're going to make moves this summer. We're borderline anxious to push all our chips in, right? And then they do nothing this summer, right? Except for end up trading Dame. And now it's going to be again, oh, well, we feel like the next trade window is this summer is better for us. At what point are you going to stop believing this crap? They do not have a plan. They do not care about anything going on other than being just good enough to not be uninteresting. And unfortunately, I don't even think they're doing that right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is when you lay everything out, it doesn't really seem like they have a plan. They, especially according to the way things have gone, according to people that try and defend Joe Cronin. Apparently, it was last offseason, we are trying to, we got this top draft pick that we could trade to help Dame. Last offseason, we're going into it to help Dame, but then we just couldn't do literally anything, not a single move to help Dame. And then Dame to request a trade, and we blame him. They literally couldn't trade the 23rd pick for anything. They couldn't even get their future picks back to open up the possibility to help Dame with future firsts of their own. Last offseason, they literally did nothing to help Dame. The trade deadline before, what did they do? They traded away a role player for a pick and then drafted a rookie with it, right? While saying they were super dedicated to winning. In the meantime, they got Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, just kind of, players that aren't as good as Josh Hart, so they downgrade. And then they talk highly about Cam Reddish, and then he walks for nothing. They were never going to be able to keep both Thybulle and Reddish, and we explained that. But they were talking high about both of them. So the deadline where they gained all the flexibility from like the Norm and CJ trades, they did gain a TPE that they did use on Grant. That's the one thing that's added up so far. But they, Woj was tweeting out about how they had $60 million in cap space. They didn't have no cap space. We tried explaining that at the time. And the flexibility didn't result in anything close to a winner. Right? But that's what the flexibility was supposed to give them. Now you're in a rebuild mode, but you're not trying to trade any of your vets. You're just keeping your vets. You're not cashing them in to maximize the rebuild. Okay, so you're trying to play this middle ground. And then you get the reports of they think they can be the Houston Rockets from Jake L. Fisher. Like, maybe we can be a playing team. And for as much as people want to criticize us for criticizing the front office, I have a question for them. What is the end goal by keeping Grant and Brogdon? What's the end goal? What does it result in? Are we going to contend with those guys in 2 years? I think that's very optimistic. And I don't think the front office should plan like that. If we're going to do that, then we have to get insanely lucky through the draft. But if we get insanely lucky through the draft, then it also still makes sense to cash those guys in because we won't be contending necessarily because of them. We'll be contending because we get Sarr and maybe he's a star, right? Maybe next year we get Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey. Scoot pans out. Sharp pans out, right? That's what gets us to contention. It's not having Jeremy Grant and Malcolm Brogdon. At the end of the day, those young guys are going to have to step up and be the best versions of themselves. So by keeping Brogdon and Grant and going into next offseason projected to be in the luxury tax, what is their plan to deduct the luxury tax? Because they're definitely going to try to, but they're going to have to do something. Are they going to trade Brogdon, or are they going to bring him back and have four guards going into next year? That's kind of my question is, even if you want to keep Brogdon, what's their plan? I don't see them getting back more in the offseason than they were getting right now. But I could see them taking a trade for Brogdon in the offseason, and at that point we can say at least, even though it was later than we wanted, at least they traded Brogdon for assets to maximize the rebuild and cleared minutes going to next year when Sharp's healthy, when they need enough minutes for all of Sharp, Scoot, and Ant. So we kick the can down the road, but there is still a chance to cash in on Brogdon. I don't think Grant's trade market is going to be as good this offseason, though. I think this was the perfect time to trade Grant. You just got to hope that Brogdon doesn't get hurt, and you got to hope that Brogdon doesn't lose any value. I don't think he's really going to gain value. So that's basically where we're at. At some point, they have to start putting in they have to come up with a plan, because kicking the can down the road and figuring it out later is what they've always done. It's what they did with drafting Scoot and then pissing off Dame, right? It's what they did at this deadline. It's what they did when they traded Norm and Rocco for nothing. We got flexibility. We'll figure it out later. Just trust us. Everything is kicking the can down the road and trying to figure it out later. So at some point, you got to start fully committing to a direction, and that's all that I want. I want them to commit to a direction that gets them to contention and maximizes their abilities to win a championship down the line. And we can argue about what is best to do so. There's a bunch of different opinions and a bunch of different ways to go about it. But I don't think it's anything crazy to want them to try to maximize their chances to win a championship. I think pretty much all Blazer fans should be able to agree that they want the best chance at the Blazers winning a championship, regardless of how it's done. So all of our opinions about building out this roster are 100% based on that.
Yeah, for me, okay, make the argument they're going to trade Brogdon in the offseason or whatever. What gives you faith that they'll be able to pull that off? One. And two, that you won't just hear the same crap. Oh, there were no good offers for Brogdon. We had to keep him. Right? That's what they keep doing.
That's what we always hear.
And that's the excuse again now, right?
Yeah.
I'm already seeing it from people. Were they supposed to give him away for second round picks? No, but like this is the problem. It's never under Cronin. They've never gotten anything worth trading any player for, right? It's always, well, this is the best they could do, or it wasn't worth it, or they got no good offers. This guy literally tried to convince the fan base, and it worked with half of you, that he could not get a single decent offer for the third pick in a draft with Scoot freaking Henderson on the board. Like, yeah. And now you guys are still going to buy that there's just nothing this guy can do. It's always going to be next time. He has a plan. Don't worry. It'll come to fruition next time. And then when that time passes, we'll hear the same damn crap from you guys saying, oh, well, next time he's going to do this, and in the future is better off, and he didn't get any good offers. So keep saying it every freaking time, man. It's getting old.
Yep.
And you guys are the only ones in chat yelling at us. We're not even really ranting that much, dude.
Yeah. Is there somebody in chat? I mean...
Yeah, there's people going off on us in chat, yeah.
Yeah. I mean... It's... The guy on the right don't see the big picture. Explain the big picture, Noah. See, here's the thing. You guys can come in and actually like make a point, but instead you guys just focus on talking about us without ever actually saying anything regarding what we're talking about. That's the problem. You could have a conversation and disagree. The problem is people don't come in here and like disagree and actually explain what the big picture is. They just talk trash.
Think about this. The Blazers are 15-35, and they are now in the tax this offseason. They are in the tax. You think Jody's going to let them stay in the tax? We're going to have to give away players for nothing this offseason. That's what's going to happen, and then you guys are going to justify it again.
I don't think... They could maybe find a trade for Brogdon where they save money, but that's the problem is right now they're projected to be going into the tax, okay? And we all know they're not going to pay the tax. I don't think that's something that we can argue, even for all the people that disagree with us in chat. Okay, so what are they going to do? Is there a chance that they don't have leverage again, just like what happened in the CJ and Norm deals because they were close to the tax line or in the tax? Because we've seen that before. So how are they going to handle that?
For the past 3 years, it's hindered every single move they've made. Actually, since the Western Conference Finals run, because that started with we could only sign one player out of Cantor, Hood, and Curry to $5 million, and we had no other way to sign any of them. So we had to let two of them walk. And then ever since then, we've been basically up against the tax and had to make moves around that.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically the talk is they're just going to trade Brogdon in the offseason. I mean, that's basically what people are going to say. But everybody was saying they're going to trade Brogdon at the deadline. Like, a lot of people that disagree with us on this Brogdon thing now, when they initially traded for him, said, we can keep him around till the deadline. Because the debate at the start of the season was, I thought they should flip him immediately before the start of the season, and people were saying, no, they can keep him, and maybe he can play up his value, and they can get something good for him at the deadline. That's what I heard from everybody who disagreed with me before the season. And now the goalposts have moved from, oh, well, they can get something good in the offseason. That's the problem. It's just the goalposts always move down the line. And then people say, you don't see the big picture, but the big picture has constantly been kicking the can down the road. I think there's a good chance they trade Brogdon this offseason. The problem is if they wanted to keep Brogdon past this deadline and it wasn't anything to do with the offers, why are we so sure that they're going to trade him in the offseason if they wanted to keep him right now? That's my question to anybody that disagrees.
And so there's several questions about, well, Sharp's injury, did that factor in to it?
It probably did before, though.
It probably did. Yeah, but we heard they were going to keep Brogdon before that. But the Sharp thing definitely played a factor. But my question is why? Why would someone getting hurt this year in a year that does not matter? We're not making the play-in. Are we still 9.5 games behind the play-in? Or are we only 9 games back now?
I'm not sure.
Did we cut the gap with not playing these 3 days? Let me find out for sure.
I'll check.
I didn't look at it after last night.
Eric, we are 10 games out of the play-in.
We're only 10 games back of the 10th seed. Not of like actually making the playoffs. We're 10 games away from having to win 2 road games to make the play-in or to make the playoffs. And we have to jump several teams in between us as well.
Yeah, the 10th seed right now is 500. To get to 500, we'd have to go 26-6 the rest of the season.
So my point is, why do we care what the rest of this season happens with Sharp's minutes or whatever? Why not just give them all to Ryan Rupert or whatever, or Delano Banton for all I care? Why does Brogdon have to be here to make up for Sharp's injury? Don't we want to be sitting here with the 5th best odds at worst right now going into this draft?
They've fully committed to tanking whole months of seasons to get as good of a draft pick. We shouldn't be afraid to do that again when we actually suck and don't have Dame. It's just kind of strange how now that's a problem. I know people are getting tired of it, but unfortunately, when you sign up for a rebuild, that's what you sign up for. So, Robert Carlson says, why are people afraid of being the worst team in the West? We are tanking. Yeah, is it worse to be the... Yeah, we're the second worst team in the West. Is it worse to be the worst team in the West? We just have better lottery odds.
Could easily pass us.
If we're going to suck, we might as well suck. We might as well be good at something, and we might as well be good at sucking. That sounds kind of sus. But you get my point, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The Portland Trailblazers are signing Ashton Hagans on a 10-day contract. Another guard! Let's go!
I mean, Ashton Hagans is good, but yeah.
He replaces Taze Moore, who is a guard. Let's go. Let's go, Ashton. You're going to be so much better 10 days from now after you get 10 days of Malcolm Brogdon's veteran mentorship. He's going to help lead us to a G League championship now. And then we can say, this organization is a winner. Genius. Levels to this stuff, Eric. I'm telling you. Shout out to Andrew Hartwell for becoming a starter level member.
Could have had Skyler Made still too.
I like Higgins. He's been balling in the G League. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying.
I would have liked that we signed him to a 10-day if we didn't have Malcolm Brogdon. It's just we got Brogdon and Scoot in it. I mean, I guess without Sharp, he's a third guard, which is fine. I'm kind of just memeing it just to meme it at this point. It's fun to meme about the guards. It's a coping mechanism, okay? But, yeah. I mean, Delano Banton, I know he's tall, but he's basically a guard, is what he's played. So, wouldn't he be the third string guard? I don't know. But shout out to Ashton Hagans, finally gets to the league. He was a good player at Kentucky and been balling at the G League, so happy for him.
So, people wonder why we're so upset about the Dame stuff, and now why we're always angry. This is why. This franchise chose a rebuild. But they don't want to admit they're in a rebuild. They're lying to themselves and to everyone else, trying to say that this isn't a rebuild, this is something else, and we need these kind of players to do stuff. Okay? And then they have injuries, they have opportunities to possibly explore trading some of these guys, but that would make them bad, Tori. And you can't do that because look how bad it would look if we were 10-40 right now instead of 15-35. Oh man, it would be so bad for Joe Cronin and Jody, man. It would look so bad for those guys because we traded Dame and now we're like the worst team in the league. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're the Pistons. Like that sucks so bad. So they actually kept Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Grant thinking that would make some sort of PR difference, and it looks like it's working. And they care more about that than building an actual good roster in the future built around Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe. And that's all that we think about. You can say we're negative and all that stuff, but that sucks because you know what? You can't argue against it. It's 100% correct, and that is what is happening right in front of you. You can choose to ignore it. I'm all for that. If you want to just put on the blinders and see that this organization is ridiculously guaranteed to or ridiculously committed to winning, like Joe Cronin said him and Chauncey and Jody all were. If you want to believe that crap, go right ahead, dude. But don't come in here and try to tell us that we're always negative and it's so bad because they're actually that's what they're doing. It's so messed up that they don't care as much about building a contending team as they do just making sure in the light of public opinion that they're still somewhat okay and relevant and all that kind of crap. And that's why this organization will never win, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, you can always find an excuse to do nothing in terms of trades and transactions and moves. You can always find an excuse. Oh, this wasn't the right move. They were offering a pick in this year instead of that year. Teams didn't want to trade, blah, 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 blah. Because we don't know. You can always find an excuse. You can always excuse inactivity, right? I'm sure people in Chicago right now are excusing inactivity too, even though that team is directionless as hell. Basically, at the end of the day, it's all about maximizing the chances to contend, and that involves getting assets for the future for a window that is prioritized based on Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson, maybe Anthony Simons. Those guys are young. We're in a rebuild. This is literally what a rebuild is. So, end of the day, we're not exactly doing that by keeping Brogdon and Grant. Who cares if we're 5 games worse? We don't need to scratch and claw out every win possible in a season where we're probably going to win 20 games. And in the last month, we're going to completely flip it to trying to scratch and claw our way to every loss possible.
Yep. And for the record, I'm a lifelong Blazer fan. I will never not root for the Blazers. I can root for a different front office, a different owner, different coach, different players, whatever. I can do that, but I will never not bleed red and black. I am a Blazer fan for my life, and unless they do something to like if they would have traded for Miles Bridges today or something, then that might be a different story. But I'm not just going to stop being a Blazer fan. I want this team to win. I would do anything in my life. I know the 49ers are playing in a Super Bowl. Like, this is going to be awesome if the 49ers win, but it's nothing like if the Blazers win a title, for me at least. And I would do anything for the Blazers to win a title, short of something happening to my family or something like that.
Yeah.
I would do anything. And I'm passionate about the Blazers. I will never not like the Blazers.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of past explaining this to people because people that know what time it is know what time it is. People that criticize are still going to criticize no matter what you're saying right now, right? We don't even need to explain it. It is what it is. They kept 2 veterans in a rebuild, And they're saying, we'll just trade him later. They're kicking the can down the road like they have multiple times. And they continue to keep kicking the can down the road. And anybody that's saying, we might be the Pistons. Why are you so afraid of being the Pistons? We're barely better than the Pistons. Like, who cares if we win 20 games or 14? Yeah, I'd rather win 14 games than 20, because if we're going to suck, you might as well get great lottery odds with it. What is the issue with that? I don't understand. So, prioritize young players, prioritize draft picks, and a rebuild. That's very common stuff. And when you choose to keep veteran... Go ahead, whatever.
Sorry. I was going to say, it's different than the last couple years, too, right? Like, we were playing, like, Drew Eubanks and Brandon Williams and players like that. This is different, like, playing the young guys in this situation is all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just is what it is. Like, they're going to kick the can down the road. If they trade Brogdon and get back a first-round pick in the offseason, it's fine. It's just there is no trust to be had with an organization that keeps kicking the can down the road, because, and especially an organization that has used the excuse of we didn't have leverage because we were in the tax, when they're going into an offseason with another opportunity to kick the can down the road with Brogdon and another opportunity to say we have no leverage because they are projected to be in the tax this offseason. It's the same stuff that we've seen, and it's setting up for the same sort of offseason that we've seen, and there are moves they could make where they can have a good offseason. They could trade, Malcolm Brogdon for a first, and then they could trade Jeremy Grant, get back great value, and then be on the right path, and this deadline didn't even matter. It's just worrisome for us because of the way this is lining up and because of what's happened in the past. And we don't want to sit here after the offseason where we traded Malcolm Brogdon for basically nothing because we were in the tax and had no leverage, and have that excuse fly for people where they were saying right now that, oh yeah, we kept him at the deadline because we can trade him for value in the offseason. If there's a chance that we're not going to have leverage and not going to be able to get back value in a Brogdon trade because we're in the tax, just like what happened with the Norman Powell trade this offseason, then we should have traded him now. You can't have your cake and eat it too in terms of keeping him and then it being an excuse where we have no leverage because we're in the tax. Right now, we're projected to be in the tax next offseason with where both these picks are. Okay? How are they going to duck that? I'm not sure. But it's probably going to be a trade where they take back less than ample value. Whereas if they just stopped kicking the can down the road and took care of it now and got assets and got an expiring contract for Brogdon, then that wouldn't be a problem. So it all comes back to what happens in the offseason and how they build towards contention in the future. This trade deadline didn't help anything. If anything, it sets them up to be in a tougher position this offseason, because you could trade Brogdon for expirings that would have expired this offseason. Now, if you trade Brogdon in the offseason, if it's a team that has to match salary, you have to take salary back. So how much are we ducking the tax by? Even if we duck it by a couple $1 million, they're still not going to have the same level of flexibility because of how close they are to the tax. So this is the type of stuff we think about. This is the type of stuff that affects the future. And this is the type of stuff that they've used in the past as an excuse for some of their moves that didn't look good on paper. And that's the frustrating part for us, is like all of our criticism right now, everything we're saying is based on things that have happened in the past. It's not just speculation. It's based on a pattern that has happened in the past. So maybe they break that pattern. If they break that pattern, I'll be happy. That's when I won't criticize them.
Is when they
when they pick a direction and break this pattern, then we will give them credit. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We're 27th in rotation age, you dorks. Oh my God. Gotta love people that come in here with the insults. Gotta love people that think that because we're 27th in rotation age, that doesn't mean that we should, A, trade a veteran for expiring contracts and assets to duck the tax this offseason. B, that because we're 27th in rotation age, it doesn't mean we should ever trade anybody that's a veteran when we can get back assets that'll help our rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, we just started a rebuild. We should be near the bottom in rotation age. But guess what? If the 14th guy was a veteran mentor, which is so valuable, then we'd be maybe 25th in rotation age. If we had a couple veteran mentors as like our 14th and 15th man instead of Delano, Banton, and Ryan Rupert, then we'd be 22nd in rotation age, which at the start of a rebuild isn't all that young. That's the thing, is it might be better to have a 15th man that's a veteran mentor, especially with how much people talk about Malcolm Brogdon being such a great veteran mentor. Okay, well, you could probably remain 27th in age if you trade Brogdon for an expiring and a pick, and that expiring is veteran. Like, I just don't really understand that as a rebuttal at all. And the problem is people always come in with something like that that doesn't really apply to what we're talking about with an insult. And they think it's some sort of gotcha.
Yep. And the worst part to me is all these people hated Olshey, right? And it was always, Olshey never does anything. He always kicks the can down the road. And then you knew with Olshey, he wasn't going to actually do anything with it. Whether it's the trade exception for, was it Alan Crabb trade exception or whatever, like all that stuff. Do anything with that stuff. And he never did, even though he kept saying he was. But now we have 3 straight trade deadlines, 2 off seasons, about to be a 3rd off season if Cronin doesn't do something this off season of Cronin, because that was the excuse, right? Oh, well, he has to clean up Olshey's mess. Well, he cleaned it all up.
Yeah.
And now he's still kicking the can down the road. So you can't blame Olshey anymore. And he's doing the same thing, kicking the can down the road, kicking the can down the road. Or as Rich says in chat, we are the can. Which is hilarious. But the thing is, at what point is it like, well, Cronin's he's Olshey. He's Olshey 2.0. He's just going to continue kicking the can down the road and getting fans to buy in, and they're buying it because he's not Neil Olshey, so fans like him, and that's fine. But like, at some point, is there a cutoff for all you people who believe that he's still on the path to greatness? Is there a point where you will stop believing what he says? Because I can sit here and, with Rich's help, name 100 lies he's made in just 2.5 years of being our GM. So, like, at what point are we going to believe that he's actually going to do something?
Yeah, 100%. We got Stephen Vaughn in chat, which is great. He says, and I'm going to record with him hopefully this weekend. He says, there is no trust with the GM, which is understandable, but if they get a first for Brogdon in the offseason, it's still a W. It's no surprise they didn't make a move, which is the real problem. And then, like, my thing is, before the season, the debate was, do we trade Brogdon now or do we wait until the deadline? And now it became, do we trade Brogdon at the deadline or do we wait until the offseason? It better not be a conversation in the offseason like, do we trade him in the offseason or do we bring him into next year as a 4th guard when we have Scoot, maybe Prime for a second-year breakout, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe? Because I don't think you can do that. So that has to be the cutoff. Basically, they have to trade Malcolm Brogdon this offseason. But what worries me with that, Steven, is, well, does that mean they have no leverage? Because we've heard the leverage excuse for some questionable trades in the past. And right now they're projected to be in the tax after they use their picks. That's what worries me, is that they're not going to get as much value back from Malcolm Brogdon in the offseason as they could have right now if they let those same excuses play out where, yeah, we were in the tax, so we didn't have much leverage, and teams knew we had to trade him because we have 3 young guards, so we didn't have any leverage. Because we've kind of seen that stuff play out before, and that's where some of the concern comes in. If they get the right trade for Brogdon in the offseason, it's completely fine. But that's where me and Eric's concern comes in, is the same narratives playing out with the Brogdon trade where they could have just avoided it all if they were looking to trade him this deadline, which it seems like they weren't even looking to trade him. So that's my issue.
We could get lucky, what we mentioned earlier, like Philly strikes out in free agency and absorbs Malcolm's contract for a pick or something. Like that that's the ideal scenario right now for me.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not completely lighting them up. I'm kind of making jokes and stuff, but at the end of the day, like they have to get something for Brogdon that shows me like, okay, that's why they held off, right? And that's basically where it comes down to. Once they stop kicking the can down the road with Brogdon and maybe with Grant, and they just like fully commit to the youth movement and the rebuild, when they pick a direction, that's when I'll be happy. Because I felt like they never picked a direction with Dame. They never fully committed to going all in to try and win a championship with Dame. And now we started a rebuild, and it feels like they're not going all in on the rebuild either. And then you hear the quotes about how they want to be the Houston Rockets, where, man, do they want to just go for a play-in next year, or they're just going to keep all their veterans to try and make a play-in? That should not be the goal. They should not. The goal should not be to get stuck in the middle again. Trying to become the Rockets, this year's Rockets next year, is just getting stuck in the middle again. So that's where I'm worried, because at the end of the day, it's just about picking a direction.
And here's my concern too. Okay, you can choose to not believe this if you don't want to, but I am convinced that they did not really want to trade the third pick, right?
Yeah.
They didn't seriously shop it. They were convinced that was the path they were going to take. And yes, of course, people called about it, but they didn't, like, at the deadline or at the draft. I mean, this was reported by, I forgot if it was Shams or Woj or Chris Haynes or one of them, said that Portland didn't even take phone calls from New Orleans, who was frantically trying to call them while on the clock. They didn't even take their phone call on the clock. And so then when you hear, well, there were no good offers for the third pick, it's like, well, were there no good offers, or did we not shop the third pick enough to field out what offers there would have been? And did we not like plan on it being a situation where on the clock, like, I mean, even Sean Highkin said, we're not going to trade the third pick until we're on the clock, but then that's when the good offers are going to come in. And then we didn't even take the offers, and then the excuse is still, well, no one offered us anything for the third pick. And now I'm afraid what happened here is they decided they were keeping Malcolm Brogdon, and they listened to some calls for him, but they never actually negotiated with anyone. It was just like, no, we're probably going to keep him, but what's your offer? And they're like, no, that's not enough or whatever. But that's not negotiating. That's just listening to offers, right? And so if today they went into today 100% convinced they were keeping Malcolm Brogdon unless like some Godfather offer came, they weren't seriously shopping him. So I don't want to hear, well, what offer did they turn down for him again? Because that's the excuse every time. And when you're not negotiating or getting in depth with teams about what you want, or even letting them know, like the Dame and Miami situation, you're not even telling the Heat what they can do. Like, even if it's get 6 first-round picks and we'll talk to you or something, you're not even telling them that, you know? Like, how can you say you didn't get any good offers for anything when you're not even trying to be a GM and up other teams' offers or use desperation against them or anything like that?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like none of us will ever know for sure what's been done. But when every time the excuse is we didn't get good offers, but at the same time, we've heard for weeks that they're not trading Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, I've been telling you guys that we're not trading him for a while. Like, when we hear that kind of stuff, it makes me think that they weren't going to trade him. They just weren't. So, like, there weren't any good offers because we weren't interested in moving it.
Yep.
And but that doesn't mean it should be excused that they didn't get good offers, you know? Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. I don't really got anything else to add to that. Do you think Michael Kroll's donation?
I don't think we did.
Michael Kroll, $5 donation, says, I hate cronies, coldies, and jodies. Man, what do we do to deserve this? Can't believe people are going to support Cronin. LOL. Thank you, Michael, for the $5 donation. Yeah, I mean, the only way to support Cronin is to say they'll just trade him in the offseason, right? I haven't heard. We've had people come in here and argue with us. None of them have said that they should keep him into next season, right? All of it is, oh, well, they'll trade him in the offseason. They can trade him in the offseason. Can we please remember this in the offseason if they don't trade him? Remember what I'm saying right now. Because if we don't trade him in the offseason, there will be people that switch up and say, we should keep him. It's okay to keep him. They will move the goalposts again if we keep kicking the can down the road. And it'll be, yeah, we just couldn't get back anything good for him. You can always find a way. Mentor. Yeah, and he's a good mentor. You can always find a way to excuse not doing anything. Always. And that's my entire point. So if they keep Brogdon, there will be a section of this fan base that excuses it if they keep Brogdon into next year. Right now, that section of the fan base is saying we can just trade him this offseason. They will change what they're saying. I don't expect if we keep Brogdon into next year, these people to all of a sudden switch up and go against the guy that they love so much in Joe Cronin.
Yep. YZ, that is incorrect. We did not do that.
Yes, it was not made up. So, anyway, you can believe that. We're obviously not going to change your mind, so go ahead and believe that, please. Like, that means you won't come in here to be toxic, so that's fine. Because why would you listen to us? Blazer fans love to be miserable. No, actually, we hate to be miserable. Actually,
yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. So, I want this team to win a championship. I mean, since we started the channel, this is our 5th year, and we're not going to make the playoffs. This is going to be 5 years where we don't win a playoff series, 5 years where we only win 3 playoff games, and 4 of those years we had, in my opinion, the greatest Blazer ever. I mean, it's really hard to sugarcoat that. And the same guy says, I'm going to enjoy this game tonight. Guess what? I would enjoy this game as much as possible if Scoot plays 35 minutes. I'm not saying he should play over 40, okay? Because people got confused with the whole Sharp thing. But if Scoot plays 20 minutes, I'll enjoy this game less. If Scoot plays 30 to 35, I'll enjoy this game more. So, I want to embrace the rebuild.
Yeah, exactly, Rich. I remember they were using Dame to sell tickets after the draft. Yeah. But Rich says, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the hopeful just wait till the trade deadline season. Tickets are on sale now. Just wait till the off season. Visit our gift shop.
Yeah. Just wait till the off season. How many times have you guys heard me talk about it's just wait till the trade deadline. Just wait for the off season. Just wait for the draft. Just wait for free agency. Just wait till the trade deadline. It's just a perpetual cycle. I've made that point. We're here again. So, anyway. TC Sports Legend says, remember the excitement when we won Game 7 against the Nuggets to go to the Western Conference Finals? I still love seeing the video of Dame after the game. I mean, that's what I want. I want playoff series wins. We haven't been able to experience that on the channel. I want to do post-game shows after winning a series. Even if you hate us, I don't understand how you can argue against that. I'm speaking from the heart. That's truly what we want. We disagree on how to get there. That's fine. But that's what it is. We disagree on how to get there. It's nothing to do with loving to be miserable. So, Scoot's questionable. Oh, yeah, so maybe Scoot doesn't play. I mean, if he's hurt, he shouldn't play. But, yeah, we'll see. Shout out to Chase McGraw, $20 donation. What's up, Chase? Thank you for the donation. Says, with Dame, it was they'll go all in the offseason, and when that didn't happen, it'll happen at the deadline, then it never happens, and Dame gets traded. Now it'll happen in the offseason with Brogdon. Bad cycle to be in. 100% Chase, thank you for the donation. Absolutely. As I said, just kicking the can down the road. I mean, if they trade Brogdon this offseason, it's fine, but that means they stop kicking the can down the road. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at.
What's up, Crushables? How you doing, man? How was your stream?
Augie says we probably didn't want any more picks in this week draft and held on to get future picks. I mean, I think we could have gotten a future pick. Also, we could have just taken back a pick in this year's draft and then moved it at draft time, or moved our seconds and taken 3 first-round picks. I mean, that's not a bad thing in a rebuild to take 3 chances on first-round picks. Even in a weaker draft, you still have diamonds in the rough that you can try and get. Giannis. It's always like early in the day, Eric. I've had any problems on post-game shows. Excellent connection. Hopefully we're good. It's just little spikes. Very strange.
If we're back.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange. But Chase says, and we were forced to trade Dame during a period of time where what you could get for him was nowhere near what he was worth. Who's to say the same thing won't happen with Brogdon? I mean, yeah, like we're going to have to see what the Brogdon trade looks like. At the end of the day, Cronin has one more chance, in my opinion, to stop kicking the can down the road with Brogdon, and that's to trade him in the offseason. Okay? For all the people holding out hope, for all the people that disagree with us in chat, okay, that are saying Cronin will trade him in the offseason. If Cronin doesn't trade him in the offseason, will you criticize him for it at all?
Or
like, at some point, will it change? Like, is there anything Cronin could do or not do to change your opinion on him?
All right, yeah, I have the perfect question, okay? We go into the offseason on June 1st, let's just say. Malcolm Brogdon signs a 2-year extension, making him ineligible to be traded during the offseason. And it's 6 months from the date now in the new CBA for any extension. So he's not trade eligible until December 1st. Will you be okay for those saying we always crap on, we're always negative, and we always are like this? Would you then be like, okay, these guys have a point? Or would you still say, oh man, these guys are crying again, we're going to trade Brogdon, don't worry? Like, is that...
I don't even want to get into being defensive about it, you know? Yeah. Like,
I'm Mr. Britton's in here. He was critical earlier. Like, I just want to know your answer. If they sign him to an extension and can't trade him until next trade deadline, what would you be fine with that? Or will you then say, man, what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, we had Gateway, who was disagreeing with us. I mean, both these guys said that they would criticize him if Brogdon didn't get traded. I mean, the thing is I think we're closer to agreement than these people think, Eric. They're just more hopeful, and we're more worried that it's not going to come out in our favor in the end, and our worry is based on stuff that's happened in the past. It's not like we disagree that Brogdon needs to get traded this offseason. We disagree on if he should have gotten traded at this deadline. Some people thought we should wait till the offseason. We thought we should trade him now. But regardless, going forward, the deadline's over. We have to trade him in the offseason. I don't want the people... Lag spikes. We're back now. Yeah, so in the middle of the day, the Wi-Fi the internet is just brutal. I don't know what it is. Post-game shows, we haven't had lag in like over a month. And that's in the evening. For whatever reason, it's always been middle of the day, we'll get little lag spikes. Don't know why. We don't stream it this time often, but when we do, it always seems to be iffy. Shout out to Pat Mac for becoming an all-star level member, upgrading his membership. Thank you, Pat Mac. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Anyway. So I think, I don't know. I think most people are in agreement. Jonathan Ever says Mr. Mouthpiece is on the radio gassing up Cronin because he made the Banton move. I mean, Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course. Like, he could trade a heavily protected second round pick for anyone on an NBA roster, and his mouthpieces will find a way to gas it up. I mean, it's not a bad trade. Maybe Banton can be something. He's intriguing, but he's not a rotation level player right now. So gassing it up is, I don't know what's being said, but gassing it up is too much. It's a flyer on a guy that could be off the roster in 2 months. I actually kind of like the move, but it.
And once again, if Cronin pulls off some good trades in the offseason, manages to move Brogdon, maybe manages to move Grant, and gets good value for him, we'll be the first ones to give him credit for that.
Yep. It's all about picking a direction, so hopefully this organization can do so. We're going to be live later again tonight on our post-game show after the Blazers take on the Pistons. The internet is being laggy right now, so I think we're just going to wrap up this trade deadline stream. The Blazers do make a deal. They trade a heavily protected second-round pick for Delano Banton. This stream is presented by BetUS. You can get 3 125% bonuses. It's going to continue to lag. It's just like 5-second lag spikes, man. It's just 5-second lag spikes. I don't understand it. We good? Any final words, Eric, before we lag again?
Let me thank Pat Max, member for 7 months. Message, not the result we wanted today, but God, we've got an awesome community here. Thanks for all you guys do. Much love. Thank you, Pat Mac, and thank you to all of you who donated or left comments, all of you in chat, all of you that watched this video and didn't comment. Thank you all for tuning in. Whether you like us or hate us, we appreciate the back and forth, and thanks for sticking with us, and shout out to all those who are with us through all the lag spikes and the 2 streams and all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you all.
Yep. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be live again tonight on the Blazers Uprise post-game show after the Blazers take on the Pistons. We'll talk more about this deadline. We'll see if Cronin has an interview or has any comments that we can talk about then, so you definitely don't want to miss that. We'll be going live at approximately 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's 12:30 Eastern time after the Blazers game finishes, so hopefully we can see you there. Subscribe on your way out of here. Let's get closer to 10K subs as we try and get to that milestone. You can help us out by hitting that sub button. And with that being said, we're out of here. We'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.